Welcome to the Nathan.net. This is the Fedora 29 mate spin post install. So we're going to head and start that up. And we want to open it. You can see here that it's booting. So one of the first things I usually do is OS updates. But because that might take a little bit of time, I'm actually going to do that last and do some of the other stuff. So it will be more exciting video. So right here, Fedora is booting. Get my password right. There we go. Alright, you can see we have network, and this, yeah, it's going to pop up saying there's 166 updates available. But what I'm going to do is actually open a browser and a terminal here. So we'll start with the browser. And the first thing I'm going to do is install Chrome, just because I like that browser and having multiple browsers is always nice. So if we just do a Google search here for Chrome, close that tab, it should pop up. And just click download. I need the RPM because this is for Fedora. And you scroll down, there's the terms of services. They're here, but I'm going to accept and install them. And I want a save file. So while that's downloading, I'm going to bring up the terminal here, and I'm going to full screen this. So the first thing I want to do in the terminal is I want to fix sudo. So to do that, I'm going to open the sudo editor, which is vi sudo. And it wants me to put my password in. Alright. Oh, well, the good thing is it's actually using VI. And some of the Ubuntu-based distributions, I guess they're Debian-based technically, it will actually use nano even though it's called VI sudo. So what I want to do here is I want to uncomment this so that will group doesn't need a password. So, and if I quit that, then that part is fixed for right now. So we can go back over here and we can check. Looks like the download completed. So that should be in downloads now. And you can see it there. So I would usually use, I gotta put sudo in front of it, yum, but with the newer Fedoras, I think it's 22 or 23 and above, they replaced yum with DNF, which is a rewrite of yum. So I'm gonna just do that command. And you can see it's gonna install that, and it's automatically gonna pull the updates and dependencies needed. So this one is just pulling the dependencies, it's not doing any of the updates, so we'll tell that yes. So that's going to download, and they're all small, so it should actually install fairly quickly. The thing is I like to do is go back to my home directory, and I want to fix my bash profile. So you can see the profile sources in bash rc, and this is what you want for, actually I'm going to put this in bash rc. Yep. So my user specific ones here. So one thing I like to do is I like to have the up and down arrows search my history. So that is what that does. And I also want to have it increase my history size. And I'm increasing it by a lot. I think that's actually unlimited is what that does. So what we're going to do is we're going to save that, and then we need to source that in. And it took, so you can see that there was no errors there. So we can go back to this other tab here. And the way I open tabs in Make Terminal is Shift Control T. And you can close them with just Control D. So we now have Chrome installed. We did the sudo, so there's no password required. One of the things we want to do is we want to fix SSH. And this is probably an optional one, but I like to do this. So by default, it's going to listen on any. We don't necessarily want it listening on, and actually we're going to disable IPv6 here. So we could just click the X, so it's only going to listen on the IPv4 addresses. Another one I like to change is DNS. And that just, since I'm not using DNS on this network, I'm going to disable that. And then there's some cool user-specific stuff that could be done, but I'm not touching any of that. I want to also disable root. So I don't even know if, I didn't even set up a root account, so we'll just do /root. And then hit the N for next. And it looks like it's not there even. Maybe it's case sensitive. Yes, so it's capital R. By default, it permits root login. We want to tell that no. So we don't want root to be able to log in. And we'll go through and do some security stuff with this later. But for now, this should be good. So we could do sudo system. Oh. If I could spell it right, CTL, and I can tab complete it. Start SSHD. You can just up arrow, and then you can tell it enable. And what the enable does is next time we reboot, it's actually going to tell it to start up. So now we got RPM Fusion. I liked on the Fedora systems to do RPM Fusion. RPM.org. And this will allow for some different packages and for some non-free stuff. And if you click up here on the configuration, and I don't use this on servers, but it's for workstations, I think it's good. You can see we're on 29 there. That's actually the graphic setup. It'd be faster just to copy this line right here, and this is going to install the RPM from this directory. It's automatically going to pick the right version, and it's going to do the non-free and the free stuff. So if you just copy that line, bring a terminal, and then you can do paste or the Shift Control V to paste in there, and that is downloading those and installing them now. And when we do the update, it's going to pull if there's a newer version in there too. So there we go. And you can see that the Google Chrome, by installing that, it added its repo. But we want to say yes, we want to install these, the RPM Fusion free and non-free repo. There we go. And one of the things you can do is you can install the non-free codecs and different workstation like VLC and stuff like that, and other apps you're going to be using. But for this, since this is not my primary workstation, I'm going to leave it at that. And now I'm going to do the OS updates. Sudo. You could do this from just clicking on there, or we could do it from the terminal since we have it up. And it's really easy. It's DNF, and you want to do update, where it used to be yum update, but this is DNF. And this is going to do the same thing as if you do it from the GUI interface. And it's going out and pulling all the repositories, all the packages to see what's newer or older and needs to be updated. And you can see here there's 167 and 3 new ones to install, which is, I think it matched that pretty well. It's not showing up now what it was. But it's a good idea to just look through here. So this is the dependencies that's going to be. It's going to install OpenJDK from Fedora, and then the rest of these are coming from updates. So we could go right here. We could see its new network manager, and we'll tell it yes. So speaking of network manager, we will come and we will, while this is running, we will see if we can disable IPv6. And I'm going to have to find it on here to do it with the GUI, which should be the easiest way to do it here. So that's where you would do the updates from the GUI. Internet network connections. So we can go to settings once we select it. And it's going to be different. This is part of mate. So IPv6 and ignore. And that should disable it. That's all we really need to do here. Save. Now I'm going to shift Control T. Do ifconfig, and you can see that it does have an Internet 6 address right there. But it should go away. And you can see that that's in the, so some applications look for that. That's your loopback for IPv4, and this is for IPv6. Just remove that. There is a kernel setting, and we will look that up. So we will see what this says. So we copy that, and then we do sudo and we pipe this, and we can grep and shift Control V to paste that in, and we can see that it is set to 0. So we will actually, let's just search everything IPv6. There is a lot, but according to this, we just need to disable that. There's other ways to do it, but that looks like the best one. So I'm going to copy. So, well, let's take a look, because oh, it is not. Some of them it's a symlink, so they make a ctl.d directory, and I wasn't sure what they did. So there it loaded it, and if we up arrow now, because we set that cool bash setting, we could search and we could see that it's disabled there. Config. It still has that, but I think after reboot that will go away. So if we go back over here, we're not even halfway done with our updates. So I'm gonna pause the video and I'll come back when they're done. So the download is done. It took about 9 minutes, and it's gonna go through and do a verification and start doing the actual install the packages now. But my screensaver came on unlocked, so I wanted to show that as something that, if I could find it, I don't know where the setting is exactly. It's either going to be in power management. Because this is a virtual machine, I'm going to say never put it to sleep. And it doesn't have the suspend button. Okay, so maybe it would be display. Nope. Screensaver. Okay, we're going to try the search. There it is. And because this is a virtual machine, I'm disabling both of those. I actually would keep them enabled on the main one just because my kids like to come and pound keys, so. But that should fix that issue. And you can see now that it's actually upgrading the packages. And we should be able to take a look. I'll pause this video until it's done with this update here. So the update just now finished, and while it was running, I realized I forgot one thing. Something I really started doing just this year is TuneD, and I'm kind of a TuneD fanboy now. So, and actually, let's see if DNF will DADM. It says not found, so that's one nice thing app does. Or maybe I should just search TuneD. So we're gonna search for the package. I've just had nothing but great luck with TuneD though, so I'm going to go ahead and set it up on here and go over some of that process. And you can see that I could just do that, but I'm going to actually do the utilities, which should grab all the dependencies. And if you highlight something in the mate terminal and you click on it with your middle mouse button, it will paste it down there for you. So these, I don't think any of these are actually needed. It should come, I'm going to use virtual guest on this one and it should come with that. So this should pull the dependencies of actual TuneD, which is not installed. So yeah, you can see it's pulling a lot of dependencies in there. Oh, Python. Okay, so TuneD is installed. I get distracted easily. So we'll switch out of downloads. So you could tab complete now, but it's actually TuneD ADM. And if you just hit that, it's going to tell you something. You should read the man page. And actually, I'll do another video on this just because I'm a huge fan of it. So you could do list, and this will show you the different options, or profiles as it's called. And what I want to do is I want virtual guest. So I'm going to double click that, which will select the full text there, and middle mouse button. TuneD invalid virtual guest, choose from list. Profile. So I need to set the profile. And I put a space in, or a period in there. So there you go. And sudo sysctl, and you need to enable the service, and I want to start just in case it's not. And then if we up here, there is a verify to DADM. Verify, and I tab completed that. And it failed. So it says to restart it. So we'll need it. Let's verify again. Huh. So we're going to troubleshoot this right now. Let's go to Shift G to go to the bottom. Okay, so it failed some of the CPU stuff, but it did set the. So that's one thing that I should have looked at before and after is swappiness. So cat proc sys. I'm going off memory here, so swappiness. you can see that it's actually set to 30 CTL would have been a better way to look that up. So it is setting some stuff. It looks like some of the settings are not able to apply. So we have TuneD set up and running. The daemon is kind of neat because it will actually tune for you kind of on the fly, and it's made day and night noticeable differences. I'm really happy with TuneD. So we're going to just Control D this one and this one, and the next step is to reboot. So we'll restart, and this will be fairly quick, and I'll keep the video going just in case something doesn't work. You can see that's 29 mate. It should boot really fast. And there we go. Got the login screen, so everything should be good. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and got something out of it. I'm going to do very little editing on this and leave in the basically so you could see the steps I go through and where I find stuff and how I kind of find stuff. If you liked it, please subscribe and keep checking back for more. Thanks for watching. Bye.